Let's start with the top stories of the day. Niger's junta has given permission to Mali and Burkina Faso to deploy their troops in its territory. This is in case the West African bloc ECOWAS decides to take military action against Niamey. Niger's coup leader, General Abdurrahmane Chiani, says the army will not bow down to any international pressure. Russian President Vladimir Putin sent his condolences to the family of Wagner Chief Yevgeny Prigozhin yesterday. He addressed the nation and spoke about his association with the Wagner chief. Putin said, and I quote, I knew Prigozhin since the early 1990s. He was a complicated man and a talented businessman. The U.S. Department of Defense dismissed reports that said a missile was used to shoot down the Wagner chief's plane. A Pentagon spokesperson said they were verifying reports that Prigozhin was indeed on the aircraft. Remember, reports came in yesterday that said the Wagner chief was on the passenger list of a plane that crashed. Russian officials claim Prigozhin was killed in the crash. However, no further evidence has been disclosed. The U.S. Chief of Staff has confirmed that Ukrainian pilots will train on F-16 jets in America. He said, and I quote, a special training program will begin shortly. This comes just days after Kyiv secured F-16 jets for its forces. NATO members Denmark and the Netherlands have agreed to transfer the jets to Ukraine. Former U.S. President Donald Trump was booked at a jail in the American state of Georgia. Trump was charged on more than a dozen felony charges for trying to illegally overturn his loss in the 2020 presidential election. He spent 20 minutes in the jailhouse where authorities took his mugshot. After completing the booking process, Trump was released on a bond worth $200,000. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi met Chinese President Xi Jinping on the sidelines of the BRICS summit in South Africa yesterday. The two leaders discussed the disengagement between their troops along border regions. Both leaders called for the normalization of ties and the de-escalation of hostilities. India and China have been engaged in a border standoff since 2020. Meanwhile, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in Greece today. During his day-long visit, he will meet his Greek counterpart along with key business persons. This is the first visit by an Indian Prime Minister to the European nation in over 40 years. The Greece visit comes after he attended the BRICS summit in South Africa. The Indian Space Research Organization, or ISRO, released a video of the moon's surface. The video was captured by the Chandrayaan-3 lander during its descent on Wednesday. The video also includes the moment the lander touched down near the south pole of the moon. ISRO announced that the Lunar Exploration Rover has left the lander and has begun operations successfully. Students and teachers protested in the South Asian nation of Pakistan. This was in the northwestern region of the country. They demanded better facilities and transport infrastructure. The protests come after a cable car was stuck 900 feet in the air with students and a teacher inside. The terrifying incident happened when one of the cables snapped. However, Pakistani officials were able to successfully rescue all on board the cable car. Thousands of people took to the streets in Argentina's capital, Buenos Aires. Protesters demanded support from the government amid skyrocketing prices. Argentina is grappling with annual inflation that now sits at 113%. This has plunged some 40% of the population below the poverty line. At least 14 South Korean students were arrested for storming the Japanese embassy in the South Korean capital, Seoul. The students were protesting Japan releasing treated radioactive water. The water is from the Fukushima nuclear plant and it's being released into the Pacific Ocean. Some demonstrators made it to the 8th floor of the building where the Japanese embassy in Seoul is located. The South Korean government condemned the actions of the students. For a climate perspective on this, experts have warned that Japan's Fukushima water discharge could pose a threat to the global marine system. Some environmentalists have warned that the treated radioactive water will gradually spread around the globe. This could impact the marine ecological environment, food safety, and human health. Japan started discharging treated water from its Fukushima nuclear power plant on Thursday. The breeding activities of emperor penguins are under serious threat from climate change. Up to 10,000 young penguins are estimated to have been killed. Scientists found that the species suffered a catastrophic loss of breeding ground in 2022. This was due to the melting of ice in the Antarctic. The sea ice underneath the penguin chicks melted and broke apart before they could develop their waterproof feathers. The birds most likely drowned or froze to death. Satellite images show smoke rising from wildfires in the U.S. state of Oregon. There are at least 2 ongoing fires in the area. The U.S. National Weather Service has issued a red flag warning. This means certain weather conditions can increase the risk of fire danger. At least 5 people have been killed in the forest fire in the South American nation of Peru. 10 others have been injured. The blaze lasted 4 days and burned more than 200 hectares of land. Authorities are still investigating what caused the blaze. A wildfire that started in Greece's capital, Athens, has spread to the town of Menidi. About 150 people have been evacuated from 3 nursing homes in the region. Police have also ordered others to evacuate. A helicopter dropped water to douse the fires. Meanwhile, in Greece's northwestern region of Evros, fires burned for a 5th day. It has left behind a trail of destruction, with homes and cars burning. Several hundred people have fled their homes nationwide since fires erupted in Greece. The Ruto Glacier in Italy is melting as a new heat wave grips the country. According to Italy's Environment Association, it is increasingly threatened by the effects of climate change. The glacier has lost about 4 square kilometers of surface area since 1865. Scorching temperatures in southern France could mean less but higher quality wine. Winemakers say that the heat could burn the grapes a little. The right temperature will preserve the grape's aroma. This can help create a special wine. China is ready to strengthen its cooperation with Namibia. This is in various fields, including clean energy. President Xi Jinping said he will encourage Chinese enterprises to invest in Namibia. He said this during a meeting with his Namibian counterpart on the sidelines of the BRICS summit. On to business and tech news. The U.S. Justice Department has sued the Elon Musk-owned rocket and satellite company SPACEX. This is for allegedly discriminating against asylum recipients and refugees during hiring. The lawsuit alleges that SPACEX routinely discouraged asylum recipients and refugees from applying for jobs at the company. It also refused to hire or consider them because of their citizenship status. This violates the U.S. Immigration and Nationality Act. US-based Spirit Airlines has agreed to pay up to $8 million. This is to settle a lawsuit brought by its passengers. They have accused the carrier of charging surprise carry-on baggage fees. These were charged on tickets booked to third-party travel services. Household electronics maker Whirlpool has agreed to pay a fine of nearly $12 million. This is to resolve charges imposed on it by the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission. The CPSC has accused Whirlpool of failing to report an issue with its cooktops in a timely manner. It said that many customers had complained about the cooktops turning on by themselves, raising fire risks. However, Whirlpool waited until receiving 157 complaints before reporting the issue. This includes 2 cases of minor burns. Telecom company T-Mobile has said that it will cut 5,000 jobs in the United States. This will reduce its workforce by 7%. The job cuts will be carried out over the next 5 weeks. It will target corporate technology and back-office roles. The layoffs will not impact T-Mobile's retail and consumer care divisions. MasterCard and crypto exchange Binance will end their 4 crypto card programs. These programs are in Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, and Bahrain. The Binance card allows consumers to make payments in traditional currencies using their funds in crypto assets. The service is set to end in September. Clothing retailers SHEERAN and Forever 21 have entered into a partnership. Under the new partnership, SHEERAN will acquire around a third of Forever 21's operator, Spark. Spark will also take a minority stake in SHEERAN. The partnership will allow SHEERAN to sell Forever 21 clothing and accessories on its site. Meanwhile, Forever 21 will sell SHEERAN merchandise in its physical shops in the US. This will allow both the retailers to reach a wider range of customers. The unionized workers of South Korea's Hyundai are voting on whether to hold a strike. This comes after 2 months of talks with the company over wage hikes and an extension of the retirement age. The talks were stalled last week. If approved, this would mark the first strike in 5 years related to wage negotiations at Hyundai. Canada's corporate ethics watchdog has opened investigations into Walmart and Hugo Boss. It will look into the Canadian units of both the companies. The agency is probing allegations of forced labor within their supply chains in China's Xinjiang region. Last year, the UN said that China's treatment of Uyghurs in its Xinjiang province may constitute crimes against humanity. Canada's communications regulator has said it will start setting up a new framework. This is to initiate negotiations between news organizations and internet giants. They will discuss strategies on how to implement the country's new news laws. Canada's Online News Act makes it mandatory for internet giants to pay news companies for displaying their content. However, internet companies have complained that the law is not conducive to their business. Social media giant Meta has already ended news sharing on its platforms in Canada. Social media giant Meta Platforms is shutting down Messenger LITE for Android devices. Messenger LITE is a lightweight and stripped-down version of Facebook Messenger. The app has been removed from the Google Play Store for new users. For current users, it will no longer be available after September 18th. Moving to sports. In cricket, Pakistan won against Afghanistan by 1 wicket in a nail-biting finisher yesterday. Afghanistan won the toss and chose to bat first. They scored 300 runs in their innings. Pakistan chased down the score with 1 ball remaining and a wicket to spare. Pakistan have already sealed the 3-match ODI series 2-0. The last match will be played tomorrow in Colombo. In football, FIFA has launched disciplinary actions against Spain's football chief Luis Rubiales. In a statement, FIFA said, and I quote, "The events may constitute violations of Article 13, paragraphs 1 and 2 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code." This comes after Rubiales kissed Spain's Jenny Hermoso at the Women's World Cup. The incident happened during the official post-match ceremony after Spain won the final. It has triggered outrage among fans. The Spanish government has demanded that Rubiales resign. Rubiales is on the verge of losing his job. He's planning to resign amid all the backlash. The pressure mounted after FIFA's intervention into the kissing controversy. Hermoso, the Spanish player who he kissed, also said such acts should be penalized. Al Ittihad beat Al Riyadh 4-0 in the Saudi Pro League yesterday. French striker Karim Benzema netted his first goal for Al Ittihad in the 17th minute. Abdelrazak Hamdallah scored twice for Ittihad, giving them a comfortable lead. The final goal for the Saudi club came 3 minutes into second half injury time. Spanish centre-back Aymeric Laporte has left the English Premier League club Manchester City. Laporte will now join football star Cristiano Ronaldo at the Saudi Pro League giant Al NASSR. The 29-year-old took to social media to announce his farewell message. Al NASSR have reportedly paid over $29 million for his transfer. In badminton, Indian shuttler H.S. Pranoy entered the quarter-final of the BWF Championships yesterday. He upset his Singaporean opponent 21-18, 15-21, 21-19 in the round of 16. Pranoy will next play against Victor Axelsen of Denmark today. Meanwhile, Indian duo Chirag Shetty and Satwik Sairaj Rankireddy also won at the BWF Championships. They beat their Indonesian counterparts 21-15, 19-21, 21-9 in doubles. Shetty and Rankireddy will now face a Danish pair in the quarter-final today. In chess, the final match of the FIDE World Cup final took place yesterday. India's R. Pragnanandha lost to Norway's Magnus Carlsen in a tie-break. This is Carlsen's first FIDE World Cup win. The Indian prodigy will be seen in action at the Candidates Tournament next year. In athletics, Jamaica's Antonio Watson won gold in the 400-meter men's race at this year's World Championships. He reached the finish line in 44.22 seconds to take home the title. With this, Jamaica have won 2 gold medals in the championship. Meanwhile, America's Noah Lyles entered the final of the men's 200-meter race yesterday. Lyles clocked a time of 19.76 seconds. The 26-year-old is looking to clinch the 200-meter gold after having recently won the 100-meter title. In the world of entertainment, Oppenheimer's director Christopher Nolan apologized to actor Florence Pugh. This was over the short screen time given to the actor in the movie. Pugh responded to Nolan and said the size of her role didn't matter. She added, and I quote, "Even if I was a coffee maker, I'd have done it." Actor and comedian Pete Davidson and his partner Chase Sui Wonders have called it quits. The couple are breaking up after dating for about a year. The breakup comes 2 months after Davidson checked himself into rehab after struggling with post-traumatic stress disorder. Legendary artist Beyoncé opened up about dealing with miscarriages. This was in an interview during her ongoing Renaissance tour. Beyoncé said it was the saddest and lowest point in her life. She also said she wouldn't have made it through without support from her husband Jay-Z. The singer experienced multiple miscarriages before becoming a mother in 2012. Singer Ed Sheeran has announced a new album called Autumn Variations. Talking about his upcoming work, Sheeran says, and I quote, "The album has emotions like falling in love, dealing with heartbreak, and overcoming depression." The album will have 14 tracks and is scheduled to release on the 29th of September. Singer Dua Lipa has revealed that she is working on a new album. In a recent interview, Dua Lipa was asked about her idea of motherhood. To this, she responded, and I quote, "The only baby I'm thinking about is my new album." She added that work on the new album has begun and she has plans to release it next year. Singer Olivia Rodrigo's hit song Bad Idea, Right? Has hit Billboard's #1 rank in the Hot Rock and Alternative Songs chart. The song is part of her forthcoming project titled Guts, which will release on the 8th of September. Rodrigo is now tied with popular singer Taylor Swift. This is for having the most songs at the Billboard's #1 rank in the Hot Rock and Alternative Songs category. Both singers have had 2 songs each at the #1 spot since their careers began. Singers Justin Timberlake, Timbaland and Nelly Furtado are reuniting for a new song. Taking to social media, Timbaland announced, and I quote, "We are back, the Kings have returned." The trio shared a teaser video announcing their collaboration. They last performed together 16 years ago in the song Give It To Me. Music icon Carlos Santana sparked controversy over his latest remarks on the LGBTQ+ community. During a concert in the American state of New Jersey, Santana said, and I quote, "A woman is a woman and a man is a man." He further said, "Whatever you want to do in the closet is your business." The guitar legend's comments drew mixed reactions from the crowd. Some expressed discomfort, while others applauded the remarks. Fans of legendary singer Prince are in for a treat. The singer's 1991 album titled Diamonds and Pearls is getting a new expanded reissue. This will include 47 unreleased tracks by the late artist. The reissue also comes with a 120-page book of photos and essays. Prince's album is slated to release on the 27th of October. Comedian Andy Kaufman received a posthumous star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame yesterday. Kaufman's younger brother and fellow actors spoke at the ceremony about the comedian's life and influence. Kaufman's unique brand of comedy made him a standout in the comedy club world. He's known for his onstage impressions of former presidents, actors, and, most notably, his signature reenactments of the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. Kaufman died of lung cancer in the year 1984.